Hello and welcome to David Photography. Now, we're going to continue with what was said about your images and how important they are and how we need to back them up and make sure we have more than one copy. Now, we'll have a look at the different mediums that you can use and how much they cost and how you can work out how much it costs to use the backup medium that you've selected. So let's look at the simple and most easiest one to come across, DVDs. Now, of course, you need to work out how many DVDs that will fit onto your 4.7 gigabyte blank DVD disc. And of course, you have to keep them on your computer until you have enough of them to fill one of these discs, which automatically means you're going to have to back them up onto something else before they go onto here. Now, a DVD disc, as you see, this one is £13.59, so we'll just take it up to £14 because that makes it a lot easier and makes it 14 pence for 4.7 gigabytes, which is standard size of most DVD discs. Now, this equals 3 pence a gigabyte, so not too bad, and is a good medium that doesn't need electricity to pass through it. So as long as you keep it clean, put it into something so it doesn't get scratched, will last a long time and not malfunction. So from this as one of your backup mediums, you can look at SD cards. Now, although there's many types of memory cards and the prices do vary greatly between them, you need to still look at the price versus how many gigabytes it has. Now, on this, looking at the prices, you have the 32 gigabyte is £12. You got a 64 for 21, which is actually up a bit from when I actually put this lot together, because I got found a 64 gigabyte one for £19.82. So prices change even between the time I looked to prepare to see prices for this to what they are now. And I just picked a standard decent make, although there is plenty of other makes which are unknown is the easiest way to put it. They're not big brand names, they're not names which will jump out to you. But on SD cards, a 16 gigabyte was £7.26, which is 45 pence a gigabyte. A 32 gigabyte is £11.99, which is 37 pence a gigabyte. A 64 at the time I looked was £19.82, which is 31 pence a gigabyte. And the 128 Monster is £41.99, which is 33 pence a gigabyte. Now, these are the things that you need to look into. If you take the price, divide it by the number of gigabytes it is, you'll come to how much a price is for 1 gigabyte. And since these prices have changed, since mine went from £19.82 to £22 nearly, you therefore work out, is it worth buying a 64 gigabyte, or is a 64 gigabyte, whatever this new price is going to come to, going to be dearer per gigabyte than just getting a 32 gigabyte one. But this is a good medium, either using an SD card or what we'll look at next, a USB stick, to hold your pictures on until you have enough to fill the blank DVD. So, to fill 4.8, you just need an 8 gigabyte card, because if you get a 4, it's going to be too small to hold 4.8, so it has to be an 8 gigabyte card that you store your images on as a backup. So, we've now looked at SD cards. We'll go to what I said before, USB sticks. Now, if you look at the USB stick, this has actually gone up as well from the time I looked. It was £5.39, it's now £5.48. Of course, special offers on these come in all the time, so you just have to pick the time when it is the cheapest price that you've seen it at. So, picking that this is a Toshiba one, I haven't picked it for any reason other than this is actually, at this present moment in time, the cheapest range there is. And so, on my figures for these was the 16 was £5.39, which is 34 pence a gigabyte. The 32, which is actually the same price here, at £8.39, that's 26 pence a gigabyte. The 64 was £13.69, which is 21 pence a gigabyte. And the 128 gigabyte USB stick from Toshiba was £24.99, or 19.5 pence a gigabyte. And I don't know if it has actually shown up on here. I want £24.99 using Prime. Right there for 128 gigabytes. So if you use Prime, which is really good because you now have no postage to add on to that, and the likelihood is it'll either arrive tomorrow, which it's supposed to do, or in some of my cases Prime seems to arrive the day after. For about 2 of the orders that I've placed so far, they seem to have missed the next day and came the day after. But still, you're not paying anything more, that's the cost, and they'll get delivered through your letterbox because they're a small little item even when they do wrap them in cardboard. Okay, so we've looked at the simple. Either you can use a USB stick or an SD card, save your images on, make sure you have another backup source other than just on your laptop or your computer in case your computer fails. And don't say your computer will never fail, because my computer did fail, and that was why there was a big massive difference in the dates between when I put up 2 of my videos till I followed on with the other 3, because I had to redo them all again because of this. So these are pretty good because 128 gigabytes, if you divide that by 4.7, which is a DVD, you'll see that is quite a number of DVDs that one little tiny stick can hold. You're always down to that any of these things can fail and you will lose everything you've got on it, so you never want to just have one source. So it's best to have 2 different sources which therefore can't have the same problems. So if we go from these quite small, not saying that 128 gigabyte is not large, but it is still fairly small, you then move into what you really back up all your photos to, as technically you would say the main backup source, and that would be a proper hard drive. This one is 1 gigabyte or 1,000 gigabytes, give or take, depending on how gigabytes are calculated. You never precisely get what you think you might get. Now this is a Seagate one. Once again, was only picked because this is the only one that seems to be coming in at the same price, under £50. So I didn't pick a brand that wasn't known. There is a couple out there. I bought one and it would only load a certain amount, not to full, not even to half, not even to get 1 gigabyte's worth of stuff on, and then it refused to take any more on it. So therefore I'd say invest a little bit more. Now you aren't going to be going into it once it's full every 2 seconds, so it should last a great deal of time. Now I just want to show that even though I'm away, this is mine, and it's a 1 gigabyte. Fits nicely into the bag, and it is one of my backups, main storage things. I also have my SD cards and USB sticks and stuff, which I save them to, so I have more than one copy. So if you look at one of these, which is a one you can carry around because it's a 2.5-inch one with its box and can be powered off your computer and is pretty light in weight, which means you can carry it around anywhere. To give ideas on this, that this is £50 a gigabyte, which is 5 pence a gigabyte. The 2 gigabyte ones are £68.46 at this time, which is 3 pence a gigabyte. The 3 gigabyte ones is £84, which is 2.8 pence a gigabyte. And so the 4 gigabyte, which will hold a monstrously large amount of photos, is £115, and that is 2.8 pence a gigabyte as well. Now, all these 2.5s, totally portable. They are ones that you can, if you want, take away with you. But also, if it comes to storage and you want to put them on a shelf or in a click box, something airtight, waterproof, to put away things, they're not going to take up a lot of space. Now, I didn't get an image for the next one because I don't see any point to it. The next one would be a standard hard drive, which is inside all PCs. Now, this then has to be connected inside your thing or get an external case to put it in. A slightly additional cost, depending on you. You can get ones where you can USB it into a box and then you plug in the hard drive and then you work from then. So a standard 3.5-inch. Now this one's a SATA drive, although it's 250. I haven't looked at anything under a gigabyte because you are going to fill it anyway, so what's the point of buying a small 250 gigabyte one, which is £13 odd? You might as well buy some decent size and hold a year's worth of photos or more on it. So therefore we're looking at on this thing as 1 gigabyte is £38, 3.8 pence a gigabyte. A 2 is 55.60, 2.8. A 3 is £108.17. No, that was for the external. Internal ones is £69.97, which is 2.3. And a 4 is £112.76, which is 2.8. Which means the better value is getting a 3 at £69.97 rather than going for the 4, which is a bit dearer. But it all depends on how many pictures you're taking during the year, so how much space you're going to take up. And if you think that, well, if you can get all your pictures onto one hard drive for 1 year, then maybe that's how you want to index them and be able to find them easier, is to just put 1 year, 1 disc and keep it that way. Of course, we now have much bigger hard drives that you can get. You can get a 6, but it's £170, which is 2.8 as well, and an 8, which is £223, which is 2.8 as well. Now, if you take it that the 1 gigabyte is equal to 100 gigabytes, this means one will hold 212 DVDs. Now, that's a lot of photos, depending on how you're set up. So I would say to you in the following way: stage 1, when you take your pictures and you have that USB in your hand and your SD card and you put it in your computer, stage 1, put them onto the laptop, onto your computer, and then also use a SD card, a USB stick, and put a copy onto that, so it's not just on the computer on that. Then you can claim back your SD card to put back in the camera. Now, stage 2, I would think, would be you have enough, whether it's 4.7 or just under, depending on how you're clumping your pictures together. You then burn it onto disk. And then stage 3, whether you've been doing it throughout the whole of it, is you have it on a more permanent, very large hard drive, between 1 to 8 gigabyte ones, and therefore you have 2 sources. It's up to you which ones you use, which ones you find useful, but choose 2 of them look at the cost, and when it comes to it, take the price of the item, divide it by the gigabytes, see how much it is for 1 gigabyte of storage on that device, and then you can see whether you're getting value for money. Now, hopefully, looking at just all these different mediums that there is, that you can see that you have plenty of choice, but you really must be looking at the price, how many you get, and don't just buy 3 or 4 blank DVDs and spend £1. You need to buy a decent number, keep the costs down, find the ones that offer you free shipping, so you know what the total price is, and you will find that way you're taking pictures will mean even if you only keep them as stock and you don't take them to the next stage of processing them and printing them off or using them in any way, you're not spending a lot of money having those pictures, because you really don't want to be spending a fortune on pictures that you mightn't use, but you don't really want to get rid of them. They are your precious moment, and you need to keep them and make sure they're well looked after. Now, I haven't discussed one medium that you can use to save your images, and that's cloud storage. I'm leaving that for another video. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video, whatever that may be.